Hi guys, this is Sam from Fluid Social talking to you from rainy London today, and I just basically want to address what a lot of people have been asking me, which is am I a father to the child in my WhatsApp picture? And the answer is yes. My baby's 2 months old. He was born on September the 2nd, 2019, and I want to give young fathers or anyone that wants to become a father or is scared of becoming a father a little bit of advice about my process and how it was for me. So essentially, I found out in late December, the girl I was seeing casually over in Rio de Janeiro said, "Sam, I need to talk to you about something." We met up and I said, "What's the problem? Are you pregnant?" as a joke. And she just stared at me. And so I knew at that moment that she was pregnant. And secretly, I knew that she was going to keep it as well. Just from the way that this situation had unfolded, I was able to discern that that was the case. So my first response was, right, well, is the clinic open today? Let's find one online. Do you know where it is? Are you ready? Are your bags packed? Are you ready to go? A shock response where it was my sort of vain attempt to just say, right, well, let's go and get an abortion so that we can clear this problem up. And after about 10 seconds, I said, I need to take myself outside. I went outside, and as soon as I was outside alone, I basically had an understanding of what was the right thing to do in this situation. Essentially that I didn't have any power here, that it wasn't my decision, and that I knew what I needed to do. It wasn't that I'd made a decision that I was going to be there for the child. It wasn't any sort of moral instinct or moral questioning inside of me. It was just very clear to me what was the right thing to do and what was the wrong thing to do, and that decision was already made. And the third step was just a total acceptance of the situation, which actually gave me a lot of peace, because I knew that there was no way around this. I knew that it was my responsibility to do everything I can to bring up a child in the best possible way so that he can enjoy the world and not have me ruining another life, essentially, for my own sake. So then over the next couple of months, as I was grappling with this, a lot of different things happened. My friend actually took his own life in the same month. And so I had to deal with the fact that my best friend, who I'd lived with for 7 years, had taken his life, and I hadn't been able to be there because I'd been in Brazil. So I wasn't able to look after him in the way that I'd wanted to. And so I had all of these conflicting, life-changing events happening at the same time, which is difficult. But I started thinking about what I needed to do and what would make this child's life the best life it could be. And I started thinking about my situation and what I needed to do in order to do the best job as a father. And I boiled down essentially what a young child needs into these 4 attributes. So the first one is a strong female role model. Now that typically is a mother figure, but you've also seen examples of children who are adopted at a very, very young age, flourishing in the world with that strong female character, that mother figure. So the second is a strong male role model. Now again, that doesn't have to be the biological father, probably helps somewhat if it is, just like the mother, but just a strong masculine role model to bring the child up with that polarity of a strong female and a strong male. And this will sort of avoid a child having any inner biases or inner animosity towards men or women, which you often see in far right male groups and far left female groups, in ultra feminists and ultra-masculine groups. It's often because they didn't receive attention or love from one of those figures. So strong masculine role model, strong feminine role model. Number 3, unconditional love. Now this is the sense that whatever that child does and whatever that mistakes that child makes, wherever he slips up in life, he may make people angry or he may disappoint people, but that he is loved unconditionally, that love is not dependent on the way that he acts or the things that he or she does. So unconditional love is number 3, and number 4 is unquestioned security. So for example, my child is living in Rio de Janeiro, which is not considered as the safest place. And actually he's not even in the safest area of Rio de Janeiro right now. He's in a sort of middle ground. It's fairly secure, but it's not, I wouldn't say, an entirely safe area. However, his household is safe, his home is safe. And so he will never, being brought up in that home, question his safety there. And that's the same. So it's a strong masculine role model, strong feminine role model, unconditional love, and unquestioned security. If a child is brought up in an environment with those four ingredients, I believe that that child will grow up in a healthy and fulfilling household and have a good, strong emotional compass with empathy and confidence and none of the anxieties or the mental health disruptions that we so frequently encounter in our day-to-day lives. And so the third thing that I thought was, well, what does this mean? What does it mean to become a father at this age, in your sort of early, mid, late 20s? What lessons can you learn from this? And I think it's that it's not always going to be your choice. And all you can really do in some of these situations is to totally accept it the way it is. And think about, in 40 years' time, if you're in your 20s now, when I'm 60, 65, which decision would I look back on and regret having made? So if I look back and I've said, right, well, I'm young, so fuck it, I'm going to let her bring up the child. This wasn't my decision. I'm a man on my mission, on my course. This wasn't my decision, so fuck her and fuck him. I'm off. I'm not contributing to this. That may seem like a good decision now. You don't have the financial burden. You don't have the emotional anchor. But what are you going to think when you're 60, 65 and that child's been brought up to think of you either neutrally or with animosity, and for you to know internally that you didn't take the decision upon yourself to look after your own offspring and rear the next generation of people in the most productive and happy way possible. And so I came to the conclusion that when we think about a mission or a purpose in life, or what is the most important thing that we can dedicate our life to, I think that what it really boils down to is making sure that the next generation of human beings are better educated and better able to avoid the problems that we faced than we were. And if we can educate each coming generation to think in the same way, then the lives of human beings and the lives of everything else in nature, since we have such an enormous impact on the natural world now, is going to improve in tandem. So whenever you're thinking about this question, do I want to have a child? Will everything change? Am I ready for it? You're never going to be ready. What needs to change will change. And if you want to have a child, don't be scared of it. And if you don't want to, don't worry about it. But the crux of it is that if we can teach the next generation to be better than we were, then the world will improve in unison with the development of that generation. This has been Sam talking to you from next to Oxford Circus. If anybody wants to talk about this, if you are a young father or you feel like you want to have a child or you're scared of having a child, then please get in contact with me at the email address admin@fluid.social, and I'll be happy to talk to you more about my experience and some of the ways that I got through this process when everything in my life was turned upside down at once. So get in touch if you want to. I'll see you in the next video. Sam out. Hi guys, so just a quick update. From the 28th of December, I'm going to be in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. For the first couple of weeks, I've got clients coming for the New Year's Eve celebration. I've got 2 spaces left on that course, so if you want to come get the most out of New Year's Eve in Rio de Janeiro, then get in contact with me and I'll see if I can get you on that course. After that, I've got coaching intermittently, but if anybody wants to come to Brazil, the focus is going to be, for me, is going to be sorting out what your social goals are. Not just dating and approaching women, but what exactly do you want your social life to look like? What kind of relationships with friends and social circles do you have? How many women do you want to meet? Do you want a relationship or do you want to be dating casually? Each one of those things we can set specific and manageable, attainable goals, and then figure out the process that's going to take you from where you are now to the goals that you've set. And we're going to go through it logically and actually find a way to get you exactly what you're looking for in Rio de Janeiro or in London. But from the 28th of December until the 13th of March, I'm going to be in Rio. So anybody that wants to come out there or is just curious about the culture over there, want a little heads up about what's going on, get in touch with me. If you're keen for London from the 13th of March, get in touch with me ahead of time. My Airbnb profile is going to be attached below here. There's an Airbnb experience. You'll get a discount on coaching when you book through Airbnb. So get in contact. admin@fluid.social. Thank you very much. Sam out.